You have reached the voicemail of Tiffany Gould, Judicial Executive Assistant for the 53rd District. If you are calling to set a hearing and have not been assigned by the local administrative judge to this court, please contact our admin at 512-854-2484 or by email at travis.civilcourts@traviscountytx.gov. If you are calling to check on your submission order, please ensure that you have followed the submission procedures located on our county website under the Forms and Documents section for the Civil District Court. Allow 1 week before inquiring on the status. For an expedited order, contact the current duty judge, also located on the county website. Record requests and copies must be sent to the Records Department through the online portal. For all other matters, please leave a voicemail that includes your name, case number, and a callback number, and I'll return your call at my earliest convenience. For a faster response, please email Tiffany, Tiffany.Gould, Gould, @traviscountytx.gov. Thank you and have a good day.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, Tiffany. My name is Jeffrey Morgan. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. I was trying to get into the Zoom meeting. I'm in a waiting room here right now. The meeting is for David O'Connor. I am a friend of his. I was here to be a court watcher, see what was going on there. I have been in the past. I've also testified on his behalf in the past. I've seen a lot of foul play take place in his hearings. So I wanted to be able to exercise my ability to watch the courts, to observe the courts in his situation. I'd like to know if I'm going to be able to be let in or not. I am waiting right now in the Zoom meeting. I'm in the court's docket link. Anyway, I'd like to be able to get in if possible, so I thought I'd send you this message. Thank you so much. Bye. So I am here right now. I followed the court's docket link. I'm trying to get into a proceeding that supposedly will begin shortly. It's actually in progress right now. This has happened repeatedly to us. We have links to go in to be court watchers, to exercise our duties, our rights, our obligations, our ability to make sure that no foul play, no mischievous stuff is going on in these courts, and we are being shut out once again. In this hearing, as I understand, the quote Dr. Alyssa Sherry, she is a child custody evaluator. She's terrible. There are multiple complaints against Dr. Alyssa Sherry. She is, I've seen her in person. I've heard her testify at various times. There are multiple complaints against this woman. And from what I've heard, she has now been granted immunity from charges. She should not be granted immunity. She should actually be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. She talks with people. She makes her living off of this. She is not qualified. There's an expert witness down there who would refute her testimony line by line if necessary, who actually is an expert. I don't know if he's going to testify or not. That's what I came in to watch and see. But this is crap. Once again, in our courts are closed to the public. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be open to the public. We have the open courts doctrine. We should be able to go into the courts at any time and make sure that justice is being done. We should be able to watch to see that attorneys are doing things the right way. By the way, I just found out today, supposedly I am a member of a group of people that terrorize anti-family lawless attorneys. This is incredible. If they did the right thing, we would have nothing to say. They are a criminal syndicate, and we are exposing them. By the way, July the 31st is National Whistleblowers Day, and according to one person that I listened to, one senator, I believe out of Oregon, I think it's Ron Wyden, he said if it were up to him, every day would be National Whistleblowers Day. We have protections as whistleblowers when we blow the whistle on these things that take place in our courts. Our courts are courts of injustice. When you do not dispense justice, you dispense injustice. And yet the Anti-Family Lawless Foundation, and the whole profession, the whole industry, has a corner on this market so that their criminal activities appear to have the
the sanction of law. They appear to be, well, we're just here to help people. We're here to go to the courts and to make sure that justice is done. Many of these people are lying blatantly to you, and they will charge a minimum of $300 an hour, more likely $400, $500, $600, $700 an hour and more. And then they call these fees just, reasonable, and necessary. And how do they set their fees? They set their fees by consulting with each other to find out what they are. They send out a survey, and they say, well, we want to find out what other people are charging. This is price fixing. This is against federal statute as well. It's price fixing. There's no doubt about it. We have attorneys that we have recorded in the courtroom, and and as far as I'm concerned, they have admitted to price fixing. And then when questioned about their attorney fees, which they rarely get questioned about, especially by a pro se litigant, they did a terrible job, and they spilled beans about what's really taking place. Anti-family lawless attorneys who were charging $400 an hour back in 2019 are now charging $700 or $750. Jake Gilbreth, for example, out of the Walters and Gilbreth law firm, his fees went up almost double from 2019, I believe it was, until today in 2023. What is it that made his fees so much more expensive? It's simply that he can get away with it. This is a crooked industry. There may be some good people in it, but by and large, the anti-family lawless profession industry, the family destruction industry, is corrupt. It is a criminal enterprise. And then they claim that we're trying to terrorize these people because we're merely exposing the deeds that they do. This is insane. Once again, I'm sitting here waiting to get in to a courtroom, to watch, to observe, to see that justice is being done as we are allowed to do under our Texas Constitution. A star chamber is taking place right now in Travis County. Judge Cantu Hetzel, I think her name is. Now, I've seen her in the past. I have not really felt, I don't know, I've never really watched her that much, but I have seen her a couple of times, and she did not strike me as being one of the egregious types. But I don't know whether she's good or bad. I just don't have enough information. But the fact of the matter remains is that by us being kept out of the courtroom, this virtual courtroom, which we are allowed to attend, that this in itself, according to Judge Roy Ferguson, this is a constitutional violation. This would demand, in many instances, the overturning of whatever decisions are being made today. Dr. Alyssa Sherry, she, by the way, I think she's taken down a lot of her stuff right now, because after we started to expose her, she started to hide stuff, started to take things down. She's a terrible, terrible person, in my opinion. She has done a lot to help destroy families, and we've heard complaints from men and from women, from fathers and from mothers. Multiple complaints. There was special hearings set up about her. There's probably a dozen people that we could get right now that would tell you that she is a terrible, terrible person. She just does it for money. She acts as if she cares. She doesn't care. She's a hardcore, die-in-the-wool feminist who has her own problems. She's a person that actually should undergo some type of a psychological evaluation, because I think that if she were to do so, she would be found psychologically unfit. But anyway, once again, what I'm just stating right here is that the courts have been closed once again. Now, our legislators who know all about this stuff are probably not going to take notice. Our Supreme Court, who knows about this, is probably not going to take notice. The State Commission on Judicial Conduct, actually, who basically give a stamp to judicial misconduct, probably will not pay attention to us. This is it's injustice to its core. When we cannot trust the third branch of government, our judicial system, something is wrong. We have had attorneys say, you've got to trust the thin black line. We cannot trust the thin black line. When these shenanigans take place, we cannot trust the thin black line. Oh, it looks like I'm going to be let in.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Mr. Morgan?
1 moment. Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Could you unmute, please?
I'm trying. Okay, let me. Alt A. Okay, I'm here. Yes.
Mr. Morgan, are you a witness in these proceedings?
I am a court watcher in these proceedings. I've been a witness in the past, and I've also been maligned in the courts in the past. So I wanted to be a court watcher to make sure that things are being done right. I want to exercise my right and my duty as a court watcher under the Texas Constitution.
No, we have open courts in this state.
Right, absolutely.
I have no problem with you watching.
Okay.
It has been alleged by some that you record these proceedings.
There's a lot of people that record proceedings.
Pardon me?
There's a lot of people that record proceedings.
Well, these proceedings are not allowed to be recorded.
Is that?
You were sitting. Let me finish, please.
Sure, absolutely.
We have these Zoom hearings for the convenience of the parties. We could make everybody come down here to the courthouse, fight parking, etc., and etc. But for the convenience of the lawyers and the parties, the court, me, the judge, I agree to do it by Zoom.
I appreciate that.
Pardon?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I don't do it specifically for you.
No, I understand that.
Right. But the same rules apply. And so you are not allowed to record this.
Okay.
And so I am advising you
Okay.
that I have instructed you that recording is not allowed.
Okay.
So that if you violate my instruction, you could be cited for contempt of court and fined up to $500 and incarcerated for up to 6 months.
Okay.
So, having been advised of the possible penalties of violating my instructions, I want you to understand, if you record, you do so at your own risk.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would mute.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We're gonna let you stay and watch.
Okay.
And you can keep your camera on if you want. If not, it doesn't matter to me. But you can't participate, obviously.
Thank you.
All right. Now, where were we?